How you doing, folks? It's your boy Za33. Well, I'm finally here for tonight's episode of Breakdown. A little delay in the making of this one, I do apologize, but yes, we have a stacked card for you tonight. 6 big battles, all kind of battling towards ranking, as we've been harping on about all week, or I have been anyway, harping on. There's no one else harping, is there? But yes, a big battle night tonight, to say the least. Well, we're starting off with a banger. Triple threat to get us rolling. And there's a lot to talk about with this, so let's go right into the action. Action of which features in a division where the championship is on the line at the end of the night. But the number 1 ranked fighter, Damian Priest, set to compete in the opener.
The following contest is a triple threat match. Making his way to the ring from New York City, weighing in at 249 pounds, Damian Priest.
A man who lost in last night's main event, that backstage brawl, losing out to the man who sits number 1 in the men's Emerald division. Here in the Amethyst League, the man that brings the purple would certainly love that title alongside him. Who he will be facing for the belt if he remains number 1, yet to be seen. But yes, Priest tonight. His field isn't so straightforward as you might think. Rank 1 is where he sits, but rank 2 is held by this man. Shocking, I know, considering we've never seen him compete. But he is number 2. And
his
he's
opponents, first from England, weighing in at 253 pounds, Ridge Holland.
surprisingly still capable of fighting. We will see if he has the pedigree, that standard, deserved of being where he is ranked. Obviously, our rankings are arbitrary and typically only form when they do compete. Holland tonight, set to go to work. The first time here in IPW. This is our number 2 guy. Third, it's someone who has fought here in IPW. Fought quite a bit in the early months. Now, he's ready to drop the bad news with a boom.
And from Preston, England, weighing in at 246 pounds, Wade Barrett.
And honestly, a lot of similar style can be on display here from Holland and Barrett. Both Brits really bring that brawler, fast-paced striking style that is ready to just brawl with you to the very end of the battle. Barrett looks ready to drop the boom. Priest, he is looking to run in. Holland's already beckoning the fight. Let's go. It's actually going to be Holland who watches on as Priest and Barrett, the first to battle. Eyes on Holland, who is still standing off. Smart from arguably the rookie of this match, the youngest competitor of the lot. Triple threat rules apply to this matchup. Pinfall submission, the only ways to win. No count out, no DQ. And a first pinfall attempt here from Priest. Doesn't net a count just yet. What night we saw last night on Break Time, that special show that combines the effort of both Primetime and Breakdown to deliver randomness, pure adrenaline. The matches we did end up seeing certainly did ruffle some of the feathers in the divisions. Tonight, we've got more than just our standard leagues on display, as we do have a tag team matchup to fill out the card. One of which that I'm being told is going to be pretty epic for specific reasons. Solo Sikoa refused to elaborate on said reasons. But yeah, we'll see how that shapes up later on. But yes, Rich Holland, surprisingly the only one standing at that point in time, is doing quite a lot of work here. Tries to go belly to belly. Priest reverses though. And Barrett picking up a weapon. Knocked out his hands. Ridge just kind of stopping Priest in its tracks and then just puts him in an awkward state. Holland now on the receiving end of a bit of punishment as Priest goes for the pin right in front of Barrett. We saw a lot of that last night. There's people attempting to get the W in front of their opponents, and again, it did not work out for them. As that being said, though, Damien receiving quite a bit of punishment here from Barrett now. Kendo stick in hand of Holland. Could look to toss it, but he's going to make the fatal mistake of giving Barrett the opportunity to steal it. Priest standing tall right now. And yeah, it is an interesting division, the men's Amethyst League, in terms of the challengers, the contenders. Of these three that are 1, 2, 3, Barrett, in my eyes, is the most deserved of the title shot. Certainly had the more high-profile matches. Whether or not they were victories is a different question, but comparative to Priest and Holland, he has the most experience in an IPW ring. There is a nice underhook belly to belly there by Holland. Keeping the pressure on here. Striking through. A nice Superman punch from Priest drops one of the Brits. Turns his attention now to Barrett. But Barrett's back up. There's that kendo stick being tossed. Does quite a bit of damage. Priest now eating some bare knuckle shots. And now a unique super kick. Not something you typically see out of Barrett's arsenal. Barrett, oh, nearly landing on top of Holland there. Could have been a British sandwich there from Priest. As the action spilling now to the outside. Priest just ignores Barrett. He wants some plunder. Barrett's not going to allow that to happen. And there's the British cockiness. Full display from Wade. Barrett returned to the ring as Priest. Isolating Holland. Barrett's back out. Watching the massive German suplex from Holland, who sends now Barrett back in. The Brits have some alone time in the ring, but Priest is getting back up. A massive lariat there from Holland drops his British counterpart, his British brethren. Eyes on Priest, flapjacking down Holland as the attacks continue to rain in. Shot after shot lands. There's the kendo stick being smashed finally, and Priest is pulling down the straps. He's got Barrett hooked up on the shoulders of the last ride. Priest planting Barrett down for the count. Wade kicking out in time. Oh, vicious sledgehammer. Tossed across the ring, doing some damage there. Is Holland, who keeps Wade in check. Barrett's been unable to really fight in this matchup for some time now. Both Priest and Holland kind of kept him trapped on the mat. Priest continuing to do so here. Stomping away on him. Damien controlling the ring, sets up Holland for some combo strike. Busts him open. Barrett finally returns to a vertical base, but he's caught south side of heaven. Planted down for the count. Holland in time to break it up before it gets too messy. Ridge trying to toss Priest, not going to be allowed to do so. Has to change the angle of attack. A big powerbomb there. Drills Priest into the mat. There's that running attack from Holland. Takes out the knee of Barrett. And now Priest hooked up. Punted. A rampage from Holland. Not gonna net that victory just yet, but it is certainly an impactful maneuver from him. As now Barrett looking to make him pay. Awkward position, but he turns it into a wasteland. It looked very weird as now the strap of the elbow pad rolled up for the bull hammer. And there's the bull kendo. Priest capitalizing on Barrett's work here. This is why he's number one, but there's a reason Barrett's in third if he can't seal the deal with that maneuver. Holland takes the shots. Now Priest, flatliner, drills Holland down. The sledgehammer, turnabout is fair play from Barrett. He goes for the cover onto Priest. Down for a 2. Barrett now unleashing the anger. Big boot puts Holland down. Barrett, I would say, making a mistake. I would have thought if you hit a bigger maneuver onto Holland, you would have secured the W. He's eaten a bullhammer wasteland. And then that flatliner from Priest. It should have been enough to put him away. Either way, Barrett's still controlling this matchup. But for how much longer? Because he is caught on the shoulders of Priest. Up top. Last ride. Plants him down. Holland's up. He nips up quickly, realizing the danger. He felt the impact of that maneuver hitting the mat. And thus he stood up quick to keep his chances alive. An Irish whip sends Priest going. Belly to belly. This time comes through. I thought for a moment Priest got up and out of it. Pinfall attempt from Holland only nets the one. Barrett got back in quick. He realized the danger. An STO from Priest. Barrett back to his feet quick. Desperation being felt as that's the bullhammer. Holland's the target though for the pin. And Barrett calculated to secure that win. Knockout one, pin the other. He had multiple targets to go for the win basically on. We said that Holland was easy pickings. He so many of the big shots. So just knocking Priest out for enough time to net that pin. A wise decision from Wade Barrett. You have to feel this will certainly shift the tides in the Amethyst division with the fact that number 3 beat 1 and 2. 2 nights in a row now for Priest on the losing end of a battle. This time, a lot more stars in his division doing better than him. We shall see how this really does affect the league later tonight at the end of the show. But yes, down Priest took Barrett. And then that bullhammer timing. Then the pin. I thought he was going to immediately pin Priest, but no. Go for Holland.
Here is your winner, Wade Barrett.
Timing to success from bad news. Barrett, he picks up the dub and edges himself closer to resolve. And there's a lot of stars, I'd say, at the top of this division with knockout power. We'll be seeing a couple of them later on tonight in the main event, of which the champion will be defending that belt. But before we get to there, I need a quick second. Well, now that we're back, apologies for that little delay. We're going into a rankings matchup, apparently. Solo Sikoa has put this one together rather abruptly. Apparently some guy came in asking for a matchup. Let's see who it is right now. And yes, as I mentioned, Solo Sikoa was requested to put this man in a match. Demanded, as he wants to go towards Resolve to compete for a championship.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Dayton, Ohio, weighing in at 183 pounds,
Wesley here trying to earn himself a top spot, a ranking here in IPW. Sikoa has said if he can win this match, sure, you're in the top 10. Where in the top 10? I'm not sure, but it is apparently set to be that for Wesley if he is able to win this matchup and rank himself in the Amethyst division. Sorry, the Sapphire division. No, it is the Amethyst division. I got it right first time. Yippee! But who is his opponent? Clearly, Solo Sikoa has done a dirty yet again.
from Silsbee, Texas, weighing in at 362 pounds, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
Wesley, you're in for a world of hurt. This man has been unstoppable since debuting in IPW, as he inducted many people into that Hall of Pain so far. The list potentially is set to grow tonight, with Wesley's name brought into it. We shall see, though, if that is the case, as we ready ourselves for action. Very calm Mark Henry to start this one off. And yep, immediately he is destroying Wesley. A headbutt to start us off. And yes, as mentioned, Mark has inducted several names now into the Hall of Pain. The first one, Ethan Page. 2 weeks ago, he did that. Last week, he put Akira Tozawa into the Hall of Pain. And realistically, he's looking to add Wesley now, who so far has been at the bane, the Achilles of Mark Henry during the most of this match, because he's not been able to really get into this. Henry just tossing Wesley around with great ease. Another headbutt drops him, and oh my word, the 600-pound weight of Mark Henry just balancing on the chest of Wesley. If them rib cages aren't damaged from that, there's another thing coming. Is Wesley trying to use a bit of speed to take down the big man. But there you see it. These drop kicks have no real effect here onto Mark Henry. And Henry clubbing blows come through here onto Wesley. Shot back, but still unable to take down the big man. Finally, a springboard cutter does the job. Wesley has grounded the big man, but for only a moment, because now Henry sends him running and just flattens him immediately. quick count there. In favor of Henry, who's still looking to keep the pressure on. Lee really hasn't been able to get rolling. That springboard cutter, the best thing that's happened for him, but since then it's been all Mark Henry. The big man sends him crashing into the mat there. Dominance so far for the world's strongest man, but now is it Wesley's time to strike. He hits the moonsault, the standing shooting star, I should say. And he's grounded the big man. Yeah, been a big mistake there bringing him back up, but here Wesley caught. Backdrop there from Henry. Realizes the danger. Gets out of it quickly, and now, as Wesley trapped, a boot to the knee. Still hasn't dropped the big man. Here's the combination coming through as STO does the job. Wesley's starting to do some damage. Henry's taking some big shots here. We saw All Ego take it pretty deep onto Mark Henry in his first match, but now Wesley lines him up, spins around, hits that enziguri. A lot of damage there. It's Wesley yet again. He's lining up the target. Is he going for the two-peat? The answer's yes. He takes out Mark Henry's head. Drops it to the mat. Now, W's down. Wesley sends Henry into the corner. Charging through, but sent over the top. A back elbow felt there. Henry's trapped around the ring post for a 619. Unique in his offense is Wesley as he heads up top. Tries to go coup de grace. Henry back up. Striking though. Wesley unable to avoid it. The headbutt comes through, and I think Wesley's about to be crushed for a second time. All the weight on the body doing damage there, and I believe Wesley got busted open from that headbutt. Big power slam from Henry, who is keeping Wesley at bay. Wesley is still, though, he's fighting back. He's certainly showcased some skill here. Deserving maybe of a ranking regardless of the result, but Henry's not going to give it to him the way he would like it. The big man drops the elbow. He's keeping Wesley in a difficult situation. Watching on, this is the closest we've seen to a smile from Mark Henry in any of his matches. He takes the back of Wesley, yeets him across the ring. Lee back to his feet now. We've typically seen in Mark Henry's matches, he typically goes for a world's strongest slam by now, but he eats a Pele kick. Wesley could be on the verge of shutting down Mark Henry. A pinfall attempt here on the big man, nets a 2 count. Standing shooting star yet again. Henry's back up. He's got Wesley hooked up, sends him running. Up, down, but Wesley escapes. A vicious combination, takes out a knee, and then hits him with a knee. Beautiful offense from the former Rascal. Plants Henry with the DDT. Mark needs to buy some time, recuperate, because Wesley, he is crushing. And I think Mark took a heavy fall there. His knee might have buckled in that left leg. It did not look pretty. Certainly effective from Wesley, who's going for the cover yet again. Down for the count is Henry. An immediate kick out at one. He didn't stay down for long here. Not going to fall prey to that, but Henry is really struggling. There's that Pele kick. Once again utilized to take down the big man. World's strongest man in a world of trouble. Down for the count. And a quick kick out there as it gets closer to victory here for Wesley. World's strongest man reverses the whip though now. There's the slam. This is usually what we see. The build up to the end as Henry crashes down with his weight. It's a setup to the beginning of the end. World's strongest slam. Plants him. And welcome to the Hall of Pain. No, not yet. And there's visible frustration. World's strongest man going for the pin again. Wesley, welcome to the Hall of Pain. No, not yet, just yet. Oh my God. Mark needs a little more to put away his opponent here. Military press slam puts him down. Wesley now in trouble. This might be the flattener. Power slam puts down Wesley. He nips up, catching Mark Henry. Around the world roll-up attempt. He's trying to steal it. Not gonna get it. Only a one. Henry in trouble now. As he utilized all his strength, that flurry of offense almost netted the world's strongest man the victory, but Wesley back in control. The young gun, a lot more energy in the tank compared to the big man. Henry, he's still got his tricks up his sleeve. Dominator. He drills Wesley into the mat, and there's a chop to the back of the skull. Camel clutch applied here from Henry. Not typical in his arsenal is submission offense, but he is utilizing it here. Not able to pick up the victory with it. Wesley might have made a mistake. No, he doesn't. Arkamana catches Henry, who's crawling to the corner. Maybe the beginning of the end. Wesley charges in. Up over the top, hits the elbow. Mark set up yet again for this 619 around the ring post. Wesley sizes him up. Springboard. No. Handspring. Pele kick connects. Henry's close to the ropes. Wesley not gonna take any chances. Target is down. Is he gonna get it here? No. Such resiliency from the world's strongest man. But them Pele's aren't doing enough. Lee takes it back. Poison Rana. Plants Henry, who pulls his hand away from the rope there. That's it. We have witnessed the upset of the century. In my opinion, the hot streak of the world's strongest man cut in half. Well, it's cut entirely to pieces. It's fallen apart. The Hall of Pain. There's no new inductee. Instead, it's Wesley surviving the encounter with the world's strongest man. Don't think Mark Henry's going to take that too nicely. However, there's Solo Sikoa's statement at the start of the bout. Wesley might have just netted himself a high ranking in this division after shutting down one of the biggest win streaks we've seen as of late here in IPW. Yeah, that pin off the Poison Rana, enough to get the win. Beautiful performance by him. Certainly shocked me, stunned me to say the least. He hasn't escaped this battle without scratches. He's been bloodied and bruised by Mark Henry. We shall see how that turns into anything good for Wesley. But yes, from our fun little battle in the Amethyst division, we're gonna shift swiftly to our men's tag team division. First time we're seeing this tonight. And there's quite a bit to talk about in this one because we haven't talked about it at all this week, really. I need a quick drink before we do that, though. I also need to do my Duolingo today. We're going to take a quick break and do some Duolingo. I've been doing the Duolingo chess. So you're going to get to listen to me talk about it. Find the best move. Innit? Yeah, and then take. Boom. Take and then take. Best move is that. And then take. Slay Queen. So Bishop can't get check. Rook up there. Is checkmate. Okay, cool. That's checkmate. Thank you. Yes, my king. I know chess. Do you know chess? Can't take that. I can do that. That's a cool checkmate. Easy peasy. Done for the day on Duolingo. It only took me like 30 seconds. Yes, this is not a sponsored advert for Duolingo. But I do enjoy doing Duolingo. Anywho, next bout. Shall we rock the boat? Yeehaw. It's rock the boat time. Tag team action on our hands now. As we've seen before, somehow.
Is a tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 336 pounds, Axiom and Nathan Frazier. For Axiom!
Somehow this team is ranked number 1 in the tag team division. It's a shock, I know. But they aren't number 1 contenders. Oh, no. That privilege sits with the New Day. The champions, Jimmy and Jey Uso. Obviously, I feel both those teams will be watching on here, as this is a pretty unique battle that we've got in our hands. The potential future of this division versus a couple of degenerates.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
It's DX, the Outlaws. The badass Mr. S.
You damn right.
The Road Dogg, Jesse James. We're set for some explosivity here in the Breakdown Arena.
It's me, it's that D-O-double-G.
Road Dogg obviously giving us a nice verbal accompaniment to the ring with a badass. He's fired up too.
Cut the music.
I've got a few words to say before this match.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D-Generation X proudly brings to you the Road Dogg, Jesse James, the badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaw. And of course, if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
As usual, it's not DX without the suck hit. They look hyped up as the old era challenging the new one. But is the present watching on? We will see as let's get going. The Road Dogg springboard out the corner moonsault. Not something you'd expect out of the one of the Outlaws, but it is what we're getting as Frazier tries to go pile driver, gets reversed, back body drop out there from the Road Dogg to stay alive in this match. And the striking game, those little jabs that Road Dogg possesses, like little gnats eating at the face. He's known for being very good at just being a dick, let's be honest. As for the badass, there's a lot to say about this guy. He is a big son of a bitch. He likes to bring the power. There's a power bomb into a big knee. Right on the kiss mark. And yeah, Frazier tasting those knee pads in his mouth. Badass, we know, ironically, is probably one of the few men I have seen live competing in a wrestling ring. Granted, obviously it was in AEW, but not in his prime then. This, so his prime era as Mr. Ass, as the badass. Certainly a lot of power in his game during these years. And a move that we've seen quite a bit here in IPW. Not from him, though. One of his big, well, his signature maneuver is the shimmy and the shake into that knee from the Road Dogg. Connecting there. Frazier misses on the follow-up. Moonsault hitting. And typically the maneuvers we're seeing from the Road Dogg, the speed game that he is bringing, Very similar to a Fraxium style of match. The Badass gonna grind it down now to his speed. His tune, the tempo more favorable to him, a lot more power in the game. Frazier though, catching Mr. S, Billy Gunn off guard, gonna take advantage of the situation. Hooks him up, tries yet again to go for that pile driver. The Badass this time says nay, hits him with a cutter. Frazier trying to escape this situation. The Outlaw's not allowing it. Out the back though he goes. Poison Rana, bringing down the big man. Something we saw earn a victory in our last match, and Frazier used it this time to escape the ring. He brings in his partner Axiom, and is now looking to take it over. Spanish Fly into the pin. The Badass is down, but for how long? The answer is not even a 2. Billy Gunn. He's eating some big offense here now. Axiom starting to get rolling. Tag, and now Frazier legal again. Delivers a punch to the body. Takes the back. Drops the elbow on the throat. We saw Isla Dawn last night utilizing that maneuver against Becky Lynch several times. Almost got the victory there in that submission match, but that didn't work out for her. Big Time Beck certainly better in that situation. Now though, DX, the Outlaws, have Frazier in the spike. Pile driver position. Plants him into the mat. Pinfall attempt. Axiom's in though. He breaks it up. Maneuver doesn't pick up the win. Now DX. Searching to end it. Billy Gunn hits that twisting neckbreaker cutter, but it's not in time to stop the hot tag. Axiom's in, hitting that leaping forearm smash. Now sets him up, booty pop and moonsault. Axiom's not done. He's got the Badass lined up. Pop up DDT around the world with that one. He lined up the Badass, and now he's looking to finish off the Badass. Puts him in the corner. Axiom to their chance to win it. Sends Billy running. Backdrop of their own to the Badass. But they can't stop the tag. Again, it is Road Dogg who's in now. Misses the moonsault. Nathan Frazier going to make him pay. Irish whip reversal though. Road Dogg, a drop down. A pop up into the air with that drop kick. Frazier doesn't stay down. And again, Frazier sent running. This time in an awkward situation because the Badass is waiting for him on the outside. A drop kick puts him down. Road Dogg trying to take it to Axiom. The count beginning here is, well, the Outlaws doing the dirty work here. Taking it to another of their opponents. Frazier avoids the punishment from Billy Gunn, but he cannot avoid, no, he does avoid Road Dogg. Road Dogg eats the knee. Pinfall attempt here from Frazier. Nets a 2 count. Springboard out the corner. And there's that moonsault hitting. It's not one of Road Dogg's though. Frazier landing it. Irish whip reversal though. Jesse James working over. Frazier puts him down in the corner. Allows for the Badass to come charging in. A boot scrape across the face. The Outlaws know how to work together well. as they bust open Frazier here. Does Mr. Ass. An Irish whip puts Frazier in the corner, and I just saw the face of Frazier there. The blood trickling down the nose. Just to the left side of that right eye. Looks gnarly. Meanwhile, James hits the splash to the back. Opts for the cover here. You see it may be a broken nose here for Frazier, as the referee did just get taken out. Road Dogg, pump handle. Brings him down with the slam. No humping needed. Into the pin. It's a slow count. Bear in mind, it was Axiom that hit the referee. Jesse James getting punished for another man's actions who isn't even on his team. Frazier firing back. Sends Road Dogg running. Hits him. And then the nip up to follow it up. Pretty snazzy there from Frazier. He's going to keep the pressure on here. Road Dogg. Trapped in enemy territory. Axiom's heading up top here. Frazier has him hooked up. Brain buster into the frog splash. Oh my word. Fraxium. Could this be it? The answer's no. Billy Gunn's in. He stops that from being the end of the match. But Fraxium doing a lot of work here. Road Dogg in trouble. He is able to strike here. A lariat in the corner. Won't follow it up though. Axiom's not going to allow it. Axiom trapped though. Yet again, Road Dogg, is he going to charge in? Yes, he is. No, not going to get the lariat this time. Axiom stops it and then takes him down with the Hurricane Rana. It is very much back and forth affair. Yes, as we mentioned, it will be obviously the present era stars of the New Day and the Usos battling at Resolve for the Tag Team Championships. But these two teams really have shown a good set of skills, deserved of being in the title scene. As a slap battle begins, a DDT from Gunn settles that situation. Opts for the pin here onto Axiom, only nets the one. Now the badass tags back out. The Road Dogg back in. Billy returns with the double axe. Tries to maybe go famous to there, or Crusher can't get it. As Axiom in control, and I need to pause. Did you know that I have been honestly off my feet today? You know, stuff is happening, but yes. I apologize yet again for cutting this match short of its climax. Let's continue. Axiom has Billy Gunn up top, setting him up. We saw one early in the match. This time from the top. An avalanche Spanish Fly connects. Axiom's going for the cover. Down for the count is Gunn. He only gets the two. Because the badass, he is a badass. Stays in it. And this is why he is called the badass. He just shakes off the shots. Staying alive in this matchup for the Outlaws. Axiom makes the tag. It's Frazier up top. Brainbuster from Axiom. Frazier hits the frog splash. Goes for the pin. The Road Dogg's in. This match rolls on still. But there's a springboard moonsault missing as well. Frazier comes up short. The badass eats some shots here. And a drop kick as well. Frazier is rolling. Target locked. Hits the frog splash. Goes for the pin here. Down for the count is Billy Gunn. Is he gone for? No, is the answer. A 2 count. All that's mustered up here from Frazier, who once again heads up top. Turns it around. Phoenix splash from Frazier connects. And again, Gunn says no. And the badass needs to find his attack. He reverses the whip. This is smart from Gunn. Get the flip out of there. Road Dogg's in, but he misses his shot. Gonna get the counter. Frazier cooked up now. Tossed into the ropes. Jesse James now looking to end it. Frazier's in the corner. Not going to get the tag. That's negated. Side Russian leg sweeper. The negative maneuver. The Road Dogg in the corner now. What are Fraxium thinking? Just launching Frazier in for the drop kick. Axiom. That's the wrong corner, my friend. But Gunn just needs to grab him. Can't do so. There's the big axe to the face. Axiom connecting with it, but can't get the win. Because there's Billy Gunn running distraction. He derails the attack. But he hasn't de-escalated Axiom's advances. Sends Gunn to the corner. Gunn getting out of it. Sorry, Dog getting out of it. Road Dogg gets Axiom in his corner. DX. Hook him up. Gunn heads up top. Spike. Pile driver. Gunn's into the pin. Axiom's down. Frazier's coming in. Gets in time to keep the match alive. But the badass, he's got some strikes still left in his kit. Swinging neck breakers, one of them. Axiom rolls out wisely, maybe to avoid any further offense. But the big boot is what he does avoid. It's that drop kick. Now, what does he have? Taunt, because the badass is in. What can Billy Gunn do here? We yet to see that signature tilt the world slam from him. this. This is signature backdrop offense from Fraxium. Gunn rolls out. Buys some space. He can't lose a match on the outside, but he can be busted open. Frazier returning the favor. Gunn sent back in. Frazier trying to take out the Road Dogg. Count of 5 issued here by our referee. Frazier nicely sent back in here by Jesse James. Because the badass, he's got him hooked up. Brings him down with the Uranagi. Frazier, he's in a world of pain because he's hooked up, set up. Famouser plants him down, pinfall attempt. Axiom breaks it up. There's the maneuver that Fallon Henley made famous. Thank you, Road Dogg, for finally doing what's right. He stops Frazier's whip. He gives his partner the opportunity to tag out, and there we have it. Bionic elbow dropping Frazier down for the count. 1, 2, 3. The Famouser was more than likely enough to get the win, but Axiom, he kept the match rolling just a little longer for the Outlaws to go to the old trick book for the W. It was well worth it. In their debut, they take down the #1 team here in the tag division. While you may consider this a surprise result, let us be honest. Surprises are what make IPW. As the Outlaws take our 3rd match in a very back and forth affair. So as we're seeing right now, Fraxium hit some big shots. It was again down to timing, down to position. Badass plants his opponent. There we have it. That bionic elbow sealing the deal for the Outlaws.
Here are your winners, the Road Dogg Jesse James and Badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws.
As you say, victory in their debut. Both busted open. Still sexy as all hell is the badass. As DX takes home a dub. They light up our tag team division. As you get to look at me now, as we move into the latter stages of the show. 4, 5, 6. And the big boy matches. As well, we're kicking it off. Fatal 4-way in the women's division. These women, as we saw at the start of the show, in the men's side of things, in the television division, sorry, in the Amethyst division, it was rank 1, 2, and 3, all battling. Now a Fatal 4-way. How about 1, 2, 3, and arguably #1 contender for the Ruby belt. Let's go, Buckaroos, let's go. Out first, a former television champion, former threat to the throne, the Kiwi Crusher,
The following contest is a fatal four-way match. Making her way to the ring, representing Damage Control from Auckland, New Zealand, Dakota Kai.
Kai is a solid performer, one of which that we've seen few and far between, but when she was on the regular, a top star on primetime for that television championship, she won the belt against Beth Phoenix, I believe. Or lost it to her. I don't remember which order it went. But yeah, she's in the top spot, or one of the top spots. The actual top spot for Nia Jax's Sapphire belt.
First, representing the Alpha Academy from Phoenix, Arizona, Maxine Dupree.
Is held by this woman, Maxine Dupree. Gotta go for the high notes when you say her name. Dupree. It's weird that she is quite highly ranked here on Breakdown, considering her last match was on prime time, vying for the Women's Tag Team Championships alongside Molly Holly. Yeah, it's weird that she is a top star here on Breakdown. But yes, because the Alpha Academy hold the Mixed Tag Championships, she can compete on either brand. That is a unique feature to holding tag championships in factions, which, if you think about it, does mean Fatal Influence could be on both shows if they choose to.
From Fontana, California, Michin.
But we get to see that the champions have stayed true to their home show in the women's tag division, but tag division action isn't what we're here for. It is Sapphire and Ruby belts. Basically the talk of the town for this fatal four-way. There is 3 women for the Sapphire Championship. 1 for the Ruby belt in this battle. And you may be wondering why that is the case. Well, let me explain it to you. Let me talk to you. Yeah! The answer to that is Vakir wants to prove she deserves to be in the top spot of the Ruby division. Not currently there is Vakir, but she wants to get there.
From San Fernando, Chile, Stephanie Paquet.
So if she can crush 3 other women, 3 top stars in the mid-card division, that might put her in a better standing to challenge Liv Morgan at Resolve, but we obviously won't know who will be in that picture until the end of next week. Certainly an interesting matchup on our hands here. Fatal four-way. We up the number of stars in these matches yet again. It is our first Fatal 4-Way tonight. As we get underway, Dupree and Vakir battle early as Kai brings it to Michin. And it is interesting to see some of these stars fighting here on Breakdown. As you typically, I in my opinion, obviously would say Maxine Dupree would be a primetime star. Dakota Kai, I sort of think is a primetime star purely because of the television championship reign and the prestige of that title. I think she deserves to stay there, but Damage Control all drafted over to Breakdown as a first round pick for Breakdown. Obviously, the women's division kind of forced that way. As Vakir roll-up attempt here, bridging over to try and lock Michin down. Isn't able to necessarily secure the win with it, but Michin trying to charge through, trying to attack Dakota Kai. Not going to be able to get it as Vakir drives her into the mat. Dupree hits a beautiful chair toss onto Kai there. As a roll-up attempt, Vakir trying to steal it yet again. Certainly seen a lot of these from Vakir in this situation. Just causing havoc by causing panic, really. Michin's kendo stick tossed out the ring. A German suplex follows through. Now a combo here onto Dupree by Michin. The Pele kick connects as Vakir not going to get it. Instead, it is a roll-up attempt here from Dakota Kai. The position reversed. Yet again, back and forth. Neither woman getting the pin. Dupree's trying to break it up, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. The action now spilling to the outside as Dakota Kai hits a scorpion kick onto Vakir. Doing some damage here is the leader of Team Kick. And we do see this quite a bit from Kai. He brings out a vicious side in her attacks. Certainly well liked here by the the Breakdown faithful. As there's a couple of drop kicks. Make it a third, a symphony of that maneuver as a beautiful Northern Light suplex from Michin connects. Followed up with a Saito. World's Strongest Slam from Vakir. And a super kick as well. Dupree's put down as Michin exited the ring there. Realizes it's not done just yet, but a dragon screw hits a backslide from Maxine. The booty shot there from Michin to keep the match alive, and we've seen a lot of duality with the maneuvers in this matchup. Kai, the axe kick, followed up with the question mark to the head, the guillotining sort of strike. Stephanie adds another. Dupree eats a boot as well. Michin staggered on the outside as Stephanie controlling the ring, and this is what Stephanie wanted. Vakir, as we said, wants to be #1 contender to Liv Morgan's championship. She's rising the ranks, but now she's going to eat this maneuver. We saw this a lot from Kiana James a couple nights ago. That knee to the face does damage. But it doesn't net the victory just yet. Kai keeping the punishment up onto Vakir. These three ladies realize the threat that Stephanie possesses. Not allowing Vakir to keep a weapon in hand. They are trying to shut her down. Kai striking through onto that knee. Hits the gut kick. Tries to scoop and slam, but Maxine Dupree stops it. Dupree eats a couple of shots here from Vakir, but Vakir eats defeat. A maneuver that she's typically known for, but it is a Michin sort of finisher. She learnt it from her mentor, her idol, Gail Kim, who's eaten quite a few L's recently, but Michin isn't one of them. Certainly a deserved successor to that maneuver. As that could have been beautiful if that actually had landed how I thought it would. But it almost ended badly there for Maxine, but she stands up top, tall over to Kai as the lights get in our way. We turn our attention to the action on the outside. All four women brawling in front of the fans right now. Dupree returns to the ring, realizing, hey, it's the only way to win is to win by be the only woman standing in the ring, really. Michin flies from the top, hits across body onto Vakir. Dupree now powerbomb position here with Kai, swirlings her onto the barricade. The offense heating up here. Dupree eats the drop kick as Kai over the top, rolling through. We called it proceed with caution the other night. Tonight, it is more of a Rings of Saturn. There's the knee hitting the skull of Dupree this time. Kai trying to punish Michin. Not going to fall prey to that. Instead, she eats defeat. Back here, and Michin, the only woman standing. Maxine is trying to join them. He now charges headfirst into Michin. Powerbomb position. Maxine fights out of it. Wise to that. Vakir wisely sends Michin into the ring. Kai sends Vakir back into the ring. On the outside, detonation kick from Kai. Vakir eat defeat on Michin. Stealing signature situations. Pinfall attempt here. Down for the count as Michin nets to two. Does Vakir, but not the victory just yet as Kai heads up top. Drop zone. Target locked. Launches herself up. Misses the drop kick. Vakir caught though. Fisherman's Buster attempted from Dupree, but a roll-up actually going to be what happens here in favor of Vakir. Not going to get the window. And Michin striking true onto Kai, but Vakir fires back. Busts open Michin and heads up top. The drop zone. It's got a lot of juicy targets, and Vakir spiral tap misses. Michin avoids it. Now bodies trapped in the turnbuckles, trapped in the corners. Dupree fights off Vakir. Kai watches on as that's a stalling vertical. Hits perfectly. Michin springboard tries to go for maybe a DDT there. Hard to tell, but it misses regardless. She's going to be sent into the corner, and Dupree's going to make her pay. Electric chair position. Brings her out. And brings her down into the bridge. Look at how elevated Maxine gets with it. The high stack as a detonation kick connects onto Vakir. Kai gets taken out. Vakir's planted down. Maxine could have opted for a pin there. Not gonna get it instead. Watching on. Kai catches her. Now she's going for the pin. But Michin's already back in situation. All of situational awareness. A flaw of these women, it seems. Vakir gets in. Kendo stick now in Michin's hand. Clears the field. Pinfall attempt there onto Kai. Not going to net the win, though. Well, Michin's going to send Vakir running. Hits the dropkick beautifully. Kai back to her feet now. Has Michin in her hands. Maxine is still standing in the ring, but she isn't a threat just yet. Is going to come back now. Watching on as Kai gets an axe kick to the back of her head. A kendo stick does the work here for Dupree, who tosses it. Staggers Vakir on the ropes. Pinfall attempt. Kai in trouble. And Dupree, could she get it? No. Vakir now with the chair in hand. Crashes it into the skull of Maxine. Meanwhile, Kai charging in. Kai, Ropractor. Eyes on Michin. Because she could have struck, but can't do so. Kai now has chair in hand. She cracks it into the chest of Vakir. Add one to Michin. Pinfall attempt maybe. Is going to go for it on Michin. Maxine, we need to see her come back in. But it's not the case. Instead, it's Michin kicking out. The situation, the crisis is averted. But this is an eat defeat. Michin plants a chair in the hands of Vakir. She breaks that pin up. No success just yet. Saito suplex from Vakir. An eat defeat to Dupree. Kai now. Not going to be the one to eat the sledgehammer. Instead, she sends Vakir into an awkward situation. The sledgehammer hits Dupree yet again. And now it's going to hit Michin. Vakir has an isolated Kai for an SVB. Stephanie Vakir backbreaker. Not going to net the win. Dupree stops that. Dupree now. Fisherman suplex. Brings down Vakir. Kai now targeting Dupree's legs. Taking out the base. Tallest lady in this match. Has the electric chair position. Kai, detonation kick. Bridging. Electric chair suplex there for Dupree. Kai into the pin here onto Vakir. Down for the count. But Dupree breaks that one up. Neither woman letting the other win here. This situation. Vakir and Michin delivering. Michin takes out Kai. Vakir rolls out after she does the dirty work to Maxine. And that's allowing Michin to strike. The knee hits the face. Michin eats a sledge. So does Stephanie. Kai has her pickings. She's choosing Michin to put her away. Up on the shoulders. Detonation kick. A TKO. Maxine hits the drop kick. Michin's down. Vakir's back up though. Chair in the hands of Maxine. Gonna swing it a few times. Only onto Michin. Pinfall attempt. Kai, you can't get it in this situation because Stephanie's right there and Stephanie will destroy you. Maxine catches Vakir as Michin takes it to Kai. Dupree. Atomic drop to Michin. High elevation from a tall position. She's lining up Vakir here. My eyes are on Michin and Kai. Because Kai and Michin are back out the corners. Staggered Stephanie. No longer staggered as Kai tries to go for the big kick. Can't get it. Instead, he eats a German. Fakir's feet get taken out from under her. And now Maxine isolates Michin. Tosses her onto the chair. Well's the time to shine for Maxine. But this is the time to shine for Kai. Trying to go chiropractor. Maxine says, nah, fam. I'm not allowing it. Instead, the rolling through into the rings of Saturn. Pinfall attempt though by Maxine. Kai tries to get the submission, but the Alpha Academy goes for the wise one. Gets the pin in time. Referee chooses right on that situation. That is a deserved ranking maybe here for Maxine, picking off the top stars in this division. In victory, oh my word, not what I expected, but it's what I get. Damn. Maxine. Wow. I am shell-shocked with the past two results. Can I just say that? Sorry. Even matches tonight have been shocking results so far. Will the main event deliver the same thing? We will find out in one non-moment. Obviously, we've got our co-main event before that, but as we see here, Kai took too long to lock in that submission. Maxine gets the pin.
Here is your winner, Maxine Dupree.
Thank you, says Maxine. Victorious, bringing success to the Academy. Typically, it's Molly, Holly, and Otis who do that for the team, but tonight, Maxine can be joyous that she nets a W here. Thank you. Well, from that, whatever that was, to number 1 versus number 2 in the top division. We saw him last night win in the main event. Can he do it against a bit more of a difficult field? It's LA Knight, yeah, versus a big man. A swole man. Well, he makes his way to the ring. This time he actually goes to the ring.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 241 pounds, LA Knight.
Yeah. As we say, victorious last night in that backstage brawl. Tonight, his opponent is more on his level. Knight wants to maintain his number 1 spot. Holler if you hear him. He's got to go through Big Papa Pump.
Detroit, Michigan, weighing in at 276 pounds, Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner.
The siren is deafening in my ears right now. Because Big Papa Pump, he brings that energy. The atmosphere changes when he's in the ring and competing, because look how big that bionic muscles are. Certainly nothing to do with steroids, but Scotty Steiner looking jacked as all hell. The muscles on muscles, the genetic freak. Certainly going to tear apart LA Knight if he can do so. We're set already. We like to call a big old brawl. Let's get it on. As Scotty S lands the first shot here in our co-main event. And it is interesting to see number 1 and number 3 going toe-to-toe here. Honestly, it's hard to put a favorite on this match. From a power game, you kind of have to... Power and technical grappling game, you have to give it to Scott Steiner. Overall, solid amateur wrestling background for Scott Steiner. Big Papa Pump has really elevated his game, put on a lot of muscle since becoming a pro wrestler. As for LA Knight, more calculated with his attacks. He knows when to strike. He knows when to go on the offensive. A situation like this against Big Papa Pump, you kind of have to target and slow it down or pick up the tempo against Scott Steiner. If you slow it down, if you drag out the battle, tire out your opponent, Scott might not have enough energy to last a full matchup. Knight needs to realistically weather the early storm that Scott can bring in the power game and keep the pressure on. Because what's interesting is we look at this division, the champion Will Ospreay really is a complete different style to what his top stars in this division are. Steiner, pure power. A well-rounded, calculated wrestler is what LA Knight is. We've got other names in this league that, well, did see lose earlier. Raw power of Mark Henry. We've got big men like the great Khali use that overarching giant stature to just squish foes and take it to them. Meanwhile, as we watch this match, Knight dropping Steiner with a lariat. Lining him up. BFT connecting. Blunt force trauma felt already. Here by LA Knight, delivering that pretty effectively to Scotty Steiner. Lining him up again. What's he going for here? It's not a BFT, instead it is that running high knee combination. Knight delivering on all accounts right now. He is showing why he is number 1. Backdrop suplex on the apron. Causing some damage here to Scott Steiner. Spine's certainly gonna be tingling. Steiner sent running. Knight caught Frankensteiner from one of the inventors of that maneuver. Knight keeping Steiner at bay. An Irish whip sends him running. Steiner dropping the gravy train with a lariat. A big splash off the top. Old Steiner offense coming out from Big Papa Pump, but he knows how to use it. Tries to go for something here, but I've got a feeling, indeed, Knight's going to fight out of it. Steiner sends him running. Around the world, tilt the world, slam. Brings down Knight, and he is not done yet. A fired up Scott has Knight trying to hit the back with a shot, but he eats a BFT for his troubles. Crowd chanting for one more as the turnbuckle claims another man's skull yet again. Blood being poured out of the head of Scott Steiner. The ring, a dangerous weapon, and you kind of feel, you may ask the question, turnbuckle pads, they're soft. As you say, they're a pad, they're meant to soften the blow, but what you have to remember is what is behind them is a full-on steel ring. So while they may soften the initial blow, if you go hard enough into them, you're gonna certainly feel a mass amount of damage. Potentially a concussion from a shot to the head on them pads. Steiner trying to fight back here, but Knight not allowing it. A drop down from Knight, followed up with a leapfrog, hits the back elbow. A lot of good work here by LA Knight. LA Knight, yeah! Drops the elbow. Puts Steiner down for the count. Gets only a 2. That's usually the prelude to the epilogue. That epilogue yet to come. The finale still in the sight of both these men. Only one of them can be victorious, though. And Steiner turning the tides in his favor now. Hits the ebb and flow DDT on the outside. Remember, it's not like our number one fighter, LA Knight, is facing any random jabroni in our divisions. This is 1 versus 3. A boot caught here by Steiner as he takes down Knight with a hip toss and half. Big lariat from Knight returns the favor. It's Knight heading to the ropes. Not something we typically see from him, but springboard. He hits the drop kick of all maneuvers. Knight not done with Steiner just yet. Boot scrapes across the face. Steiner grabs a hold of Knight, sends him running. Belly to belly from Steiner. Signature suplexes. Big thing that Scott likes to use here. The big boot not going to connect. Instead, a lariat does the job. Big papa pump. He's getting into his groove now. Knight may have bitten off more than he can chew. The hounds are barking as the Steiner recliner locked in. Knight fights out of it. Takes the ankle out from underneath Scott Steiner. Knight driving his own boot into the sternum here of Steiner. Scott's in a bad position. Big Papa Pump eats a BFT for the 3rd time. He's close to the ropes. Could reach out, but no. Not going to be able to do so. LA Knight cements his 1st seed. Here tonight. And let's be honest. There was a lot of good action here from both men. Knight did land some pretty heavy shots. The BFTs stacked up, but Steiner found momentum during the action. It certainly showcased why these stars are ranked where they are. This BFT, a deal maker in the making, didn't cement the win. The second one got us closer to the end. Knight kept the train rolling. But it was this BFT to seal the deal. Steiner went limp and couldn't kick out in time.
Here is your winner, LA Knight.
Knight victorious here in our co-main event. Big victory for him. He throws the Eli up. Can he maintain the momentum? He has one more week to do so. But before we see that, we have a championship belt on our hands. One more time. JBL gets the shot against Drew McIntyre. Claymore versus Clothesline from Hell. Who delivers the kill shot? We shall see right now.
The following is scheduled for one fall and is for the prestigious Pure Wrestling Championship.
If you're wondering, why does JBL have another title shot against Drew McIntyre? Well, the answer to that is pretty simple, my friend. My compadre. If you watched the match from 2 weeks ago, you would have known that JBL should not have lost the match at the moment he did. His hands were firmly grasping the bottom rope. Our referee missed it. And thus, unfairly, unjust, Drew McIntyre earned the W. Now our general manager, Solo Sikoa, saw that and thought, I have to set a precedent. I have to set a standard. He gave both men 2 weeks to prepare here for the live week of action. To be where the championship rematch happens. As we say, there is a lot of good things happening here from our new general managers. This is one of them, because it was a hard-hitting affair the last time these two met up. Now, whether or not it delivers the same, we shall see. But this will certainly decide who's going into Resolve as champion. As we said, Resolve obviously will be where all the belts, or most of the belts, will be defended. Thus meaning the Amethyst belt will be on the line. Against who, we're yet to find out. We'll have a closer look after this match at the rankings. But as we say, before we get to that moment, there's a fires burn towards the ring. The Amethyst champion makes his way down the ramp. Something that we've noted here in IPW is, what I've noted here on IPW, the breakdown champs seem to hold their belts a lot longer than their primetime compatriots. McIntyre, successful few defenses of the belt so far. One against Ken Shamrock. One against JBL. He's looking to make it 2 against JBL tonight. But whether or not that comes through, we will see. As well, the main event is upon us. The championship's on the line. Mike Rome, take it away with the official championship introductions.
Introducing the challenger. From New York City, weighing in at 290 pounds, John Bradshaw Layfield, JBL. And his opponent, from Ayr, Scotland, weighing in at 254 pounds, the prestigious Pure Wrestling Champion, the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre.
No real love from the crowd to either of these men. Drew held the belt for a while now, knocking people out, taking their skulls off with his claymore. As for JBL, he's looking to take him to hell with a clothesline from there. Let's get it on. Both looking to attack quick. McIntyre threw his entire body into the attack to start it off. That fell short. And thus, it was JBL to land the first shot. However, it is McIntyre right now on the offensive. JBL finds his way to his feet. And the first collar and elbow of this championship battle begins. JBL overpowers McIntyre to start this one up. McIntyre, on the second, pushes JBL into the corner. JBL not allowing a clean break and tries to get dirty, but McIntyre a slap to repay that favor. Disrespect being shown by both these men in the early goings of this championship bout. Already, JBL busted open. The shot from that boot hit the left side. JBL's face certainly might have cut him open. It's caused a gash as there's blood trickling down towards the ear. JBL sent to the outside. I'll have to see if our cameras can get a better look of JBL's face as to how much damage has really been done here. But McIntyre has started this one off early in decent form as he goes for the pin. Yeah, it's certainly a blow to the side of the face, which is good for JBL. Shouldn't really see too much blood hitting the eye area. That will obviously obscure his vision if it was. Yeah, looking at this situation here. Well, JBL keeps turning away. It's clearly causing him some discomfort. But he isn't slowing down. The offense is still flowing out from him. Arm wrenching tossing it into the mat. Keeping Drew in a questioning state. But this, McIntyre, not going to be able to get the future shock. JBL goes a bit luchador-y to get out it. Wise to a fatal maneuver. As is McIntyre, realizing he could be eating a powerbomb from JBL. Opts to get away from the big money man. The stocks are rising in both these guys, really. As the match continues on, they're landing and trading fairly evenly. Neither man getting the better of the other just yet. They know each other so well from their first encounter. They expect so much of the same. JBL, wise to that Irish whip follow-up. Now has McIntyre trying to get that powerbomb, but McIntyre backdrop to escape it. Tries to land a boot, may have been a setup to that future shock. Eats a choke slam instead. JBL plants him down there. The champion in trouble now. This time will he eat the powerbomb? The answer's yes, and the LED apron. JBL, he's not slowing down. He's keeping the pressure on. Drew needs to slow him down. He needs to stop this onslaught. This might be that chance to do so. Keep JBL pinned to the floor on the outside. Champion's advantage does exist in this battle. So the champ can retain on countout. Isn't going to go for it. Instead, heads up top. Tries and does drop the elbow. And now, Drew, the countdown begins. The Claymore connects. Pinfall attempt. Will he retain? The answer's no. JBL straight back up. Straight back on the attack. He realizes he made one mistake. McIntyre capitalized. JBL needs to be perfect from now on. He realizes the champion has landed his big shots. There's a lariat from McIntyre, not who I expected it to come from. Sends JBL running. Leapfrog. And a belly to belly. Beautifully executed by our champion. The big boot does not follow suit. And now JBL caught. Oh! My word. The body of JBL crashing down every single turnbuckle there. The exploder into the corner certainly will explode the back and the spine of JBL. A Glasgow kiss then from McIntyre nets him a 2. Usually that's a setup, a maneuver that brings us towards the end. An air raid crash from McIntyre. Has JBL down. Set up. Big boot misses. But the Claymore doesn't. McIntyre connects. Without a doubt, this should be it. No, it's not. JBL gets the shoulder up in time. McIntyre. Is he going to let out the anger? The frustration that's bubbling over? Done a lot of work here. Big boot misses again. JBL got back up, but he can't capitalize on the faltering McIntyre. We said JBL needs to be perfect from now on, but McIntyre, one false step from this position could cost him his championship. JBL, I've got a feeling, is sitting on some pretty heavy maneuvers. McIntyre lining him up, maybe about to crown him. No, it's a chop rather than the double axe. Gargano escape here from McIntyre. Not something you typically see from him. Regal stretch is another name for that maneuver. Motor City stretch, another one for it as well. Quite a lot of names for that one maneuver. It's almost like the salt of the earth. Speaking of that, no MJF yet to compete here in IPW. You're welcome. But what you're more welcome about is how this match is delivering. McIntyre misses this time with a Claymore. JBL, it's his time to strike. Sends McIntyre for a run. Drop down. A leapfrog. And a clothesline from hell. Into the pin goes the challenger. Down for the count's the champion, but no. Not enough damage is done yet to McIntyre. And you can see, you could feel it. I could feel it, that McIntyre is not taking much, but this powerbomb might be a turning point. A clothesline into that powerbomb. Two massive maneuvers in JBL's favor almost nets him the championship. McIntyre caught JBL now. Sends him to the outside. And as his Irish friend tends to deliver, 10 beats of the ballad across the chest of JBL, and you could see it on the chest of JBL. He's wearing a bruise across both pectoral regions. He's going up for a ride. Brought down heavily on the outside. Champ's not done yet. Lying in wait. JBL gets back up. Versus the run that McIntyre was sending him on. Now he's got the back of McIntyre. Here on the outside, a backdrop. Doing a bit of damage. Return to the ring. Wise here from the challenger. He knows this is the only place he can win this spell. McIntyre catches him though. And this is a countdown for the ending. No way for JBL to win. There's no reason for a rematch as well. McIntyre made it decisive. No rope breaks needed. Just Claymore country. Several shots hit. Echoed through the arena. JBL, he was beaten early. Let's be honest. That one shot busted him open, and then he just really couldn't muster up much. A single flurry of offense. That clothesline from hell here. And the powerbomb. All he really got in terms of his offense into this match. McIntyre shut down the rest. Domination from the champion. Keeps the title in his hands for another couple of weeks. countdown began. The door slammed shut on JBL's chances. No rope break. No ropes needed.
Here is your winner, and still prestigious Pure Wrestling Champion, the Scottish Warrior, Drew
McIntyre
McIntyre.
retains. And he will be at Resolve against the #1 contender, whoever that will be. We'll find out when we get there, but speaking of getting there, we promised one final check-in this week on the divisional rankings. I shall get them to you in a second. As we see the pose of the giant, the conqueror, McIntyre, to end this bout. And our action tonight has come to an end. Beautiful end, to say the least. The card is done. The only show left this week, IPW Underground. I just saw something pretty in my IPW Underground card there. Obviously not what we're going to be seeing in that show. But let's take a look in at our rankings, our divisions here on Breakdown. How do they muster up? There's some changes. LA Knight, still #1, remains there. Scott Steiner slips to 5th. From that, Lynch and Rhea obviously climbed from last week. Fakir sitting in 9th. Not going to lose placing after tonight. Fraxium, apparently not #1 anymore. They've gone down in the rankings, apparently, even though they're #1. As for the Outlaws, they're up in 13th. They've gained a rank. Men's Amethyst Belt division. Holland slipped down from 2. Barrett's now in 2nd. Only Priest stands in front of him. Those three probably going to be in action on next week's show. Who against, we'll find out. That's for our Sapphire division. Meechin slipping out of her position of 3rd. Kai and Maxine stay up top. And well, Dupree, she's cementing herself in at that #1 spot. We haven't looked at the women's tag belts tonight, but yes, that is Breakdown as it stands for you guys. Thank you for joining me here tonight for an epic episode of Breakdown. I'll quickly apologize for everything that happened during the wait, but during the delays, but yeah, it was epic tonight. I've enjoyed the matches we saw, certainly some big maneuvers. It was certainly delivering. But yes, that is me, Dunsky, tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys on the weekend for IPW Underground, another live show.